My friends, today I give you a challenge. If you think your English is strong, stay with me until the end. Because in this story, I will use two styles of English. In hard English, I say, "He abandoned me for opulence, yet I refused to dissolve into desolation."
In simple English, I say, he left me for a rich woman, but I did not cry.
Do you feel the difference? If you can follow both, your English is truly powerful. If you find it hard, don't worry. Stay with me, and you will learn. So now I challenge you. Are you brave enough to test your English with this story? Let us begin. Hard English. From the earliest dawn of our marriage, I revered my husband Daniel as the immovable cornerstone of my trembling existence, a sentinel who would guard both my fragile heart and uncertain tomorrows. Yet beneath the velvet cloak of affection, his spirit bent not toward fidelity but toward the siren call of opulence. "Gold blinds even the keenest eyes," my grandmother had once whispered, a saying I dismissed as bitter folly until it sprouted roots in my own tale. His laughter became brittle, his caresses mechanical, his gaze wandering toward horizons gilded by another woman's fortune.
Simple English. From the first day of our marriage, I thought my husband Daniel would protect me forever. I trusted him with my heart and my future. But deep inside, he was not loyal. His eyes were not on me. They were on money. My grandmother once said, "Gold can blind even the sharpest eyes." I never believed her until I saw it with my own eyes. Slowly, Daniel's love grew weak, his smile became fake, and his attention turned to a rich woman.
Hard English. Vanessa, the wealthy enchantress who ensnared him, lived in a house where chandeliers glowed like captive suns, and wine flowed as if from enchanted springs. To Daniel, her fortune was a glittering invitation, a banquet laid not merely with food but with false promises of grandeur. I still recall the evening he came home late, his tie perfumed with roses not my own, his pockets empty, but his eyes ablaze with a hunger I could never satisfy. That night, silence sat between us heavier than stone, for I knew love was slipping through my fingers.
Simple English. The woman's name was Vanessa. She was rich and proud, living in a big house with shining lights and endless parties. To Daniel, she was like a door to another world, a world of money and power. I still remember the night he came home very late. His clothes smelled of perfume that was not mine. His pockets were empty, but his eyes were full of strange fire. That night, he said little, and I said nothing. But in my heart, I knew he was leaving me slowly.
Hard English. The unraveling was not sudden, but gradual, like a tapestry fraying thread by thread. At first, Daniel cloaked his betrayal in excuses, late meetings, urgent clients, unavoidable obligations. Yet the clock mocked his words, for each tick echoed with deceit. One afternoon, while washing his shirts, I found a silk handkerchief embroidered with the letter V. Its fragrance was foreign, its softness damning. I clenched it, trembling as the idiom rang in my head. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Simple English. The end of our marriage did not come in one day. It came slowly, like a rope breaking one piece at a time. At first, Daniel gave me excuses. He said he had late meetings, busy clients, and urgent work. But time proved he was lying. One day, while washing his clothes, I found a silk handkerchief in his pocket. It had the letter V on it. The smell was not mine. My hands shook as I held it. I remembered the old saying, "Where there's smoke, there's fire."
Hard English. When the truth finally surfaced, Daniel did not confess with remorse, but declared his departure with a cavalier tone, as though discarding yesterday's newspaper. "I deserve more than this small life," he spat, his words sharp as daggers. He packed his suitcase with ruthless efficiency, leaving behind not just me, but the vows we had sworn beneath heaven's witness. The door closed with a thud, and the silence that followed was a requiem, echoing the idiom, "He who chases two rabbits catches none." Yet it was I who stood empty-handed.
Simple English. When the truth came out, Daniel did not even look sorry. He spoke coldly, as if I was nothing. "I deserve more than this poor life," he said. His words cut my heart like a knife. He packed his bag quickly, not thinking about me, not thinking about the promises we once made. When the door closed, the sound was heavy, like the end of everything. The house was quiet, and I felt like my life was broken.
Hard English. In the days that followed, grief became my unwelcome companion. Nights stretched endlessly, each hour punctuated by the echo of his absence. I wandered through our small home like a ghost, touching objects that had lost meaning. His coffee mug, the book he never finished, the photograph where his smile once seemed genuine. Yet in the ashes of despair, a spark of defiance flickered. "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned," I whispered, clenching my fists. If he could abandon love for gold, then I would reclaim what was stolen, not with tears, but with cunning.
Simple English. After he left, sadness stayed with me every day. Nights felt long and heavy. I walked around the house like a shadow, touching his things, the mug he used, the book he never finished, the photo where he smiled. Everything looked empty, but slowly, a new feeling came into my heart. Anger. I remembered a saying, "No one is more angry than a woman betrayed." I told myself, I will not cry anymore. If he chose money over love, I would take back everything with strength and smartness.
Hard English. My first act of retribution was subtle. I attended a charity gala hosted by Vanessa, adorned not in luxury but in quiet dignity. While others dazzled in jewels, I carried myself with poise, my eyes sharp, my smile deliberate. Daniel watched me across the hall, his laughter faltering when he saw I did not wither. Whispers floated around. "She looks radiant without him." That night, I left not with riches but with whispers of respect, the first step in reclaiming my power. For the proverb is true, living well is the best revenge.
Simple English. My first step of revenge was small but strong. I went to a party that Vanessa arranged. Everyone wore shining clothes and gold, but I wore something simple and walked with confidence. Across the hall, Daniel saw me. His smile faded because I looked strong, not broken. People whispered, "She looks even brighter without him." That night, I did not win money, but I won respect. And that was the first step to taking back my power. I remembered the saying, living well is the best revenge.
Hard English. Weeks ripened into months, and with every passing day, I reconstructed myself not as a victim, but as a strategist weaving a careful game. I enrolled in evening classes, sharpening my wit and equipping my tongue with eloquence, because words can carve paths sharper than swords. By day, I volunteered at community events, winning allies who respected my resilience. Fate, ever sly, positioned Vanessa at one such gathering. She flaunted her jewels as if the world existed solely for her glitter. Yet when her laughter faltered and her voice cracked, the proverb struck me, all that glitters is not gold.
Simple English. Days turned into months. I told myself I would not live as a broken woman. I would be smart. I joined evening classes to learn more, and I practiced speaking strong words. In the daytime, I helped in community events. People started to like me because I was strong, not weak. One day, Vanessa came to one of those events. She wore heavy gold and spoke with pride. But I noticed something. Her laugh was fake, and her voice shook. I thought about the saying, not everything shiny is gold.
Hard English. It was during this encounter that I discerned the chink in her armor. Despite her wealth, Vanessa carried a loneliness that no diamond could obscure. Daniel, in his greed, had traded loyalty for luxury, but luxury could not cradle him in the dark. That night, as I walked home, I mused on the idiom, "A rolling stone gathers no moss." He was restless, never satisfied, and I knew his new paradise was already cracking. With deliberate patience, I resolved not to strike rashly, for revenge tastes sweetest when allowed to ripen.
Simple English. That day, I saw her weakness. Even with her money, Vanessa looked lonely. Diamonds could not hide her empty heart. Daniel had chosen money over love, but money could not give him peace at night. As I walked home, I thought of the saying, "A rolling stone gathers no moss." Daniel was never happy, never still. His new world would break soon. I told myself not to hurry. I would wait, because revenge is sweetest when you take it at the right time.
Hard English. My opportunity arrived like a whisper on the wind. A friend informed me that Vanessa was hosting an auction to display her art collection. I attended, not as a spectator, but as a contender, armed with knowledge gleaned from my studies. I bid shrewdly, securing a modest piece that others overlooked, but which later gained immense value. The crowd murmured at my foresight. Daniel's eyes, once dismissive, now glinted with recognition. I savored the idiom, "Knowledge is power." That night, I left not just with art, but with leverage.
Simple English. My chance came like a secret. A friend told me Vanessa was holding an art auction. I went there, not just to watch, but to take part. I used what I learned in my evening classes. I bought a small piece of art that everyone else ignored. Later, that piece became very valuable. People whispered about how smart I was. Daniel looked at me with new eyes, as if he saw me for the first time. That night, I did not just win art, I won power. And I remembered the saying, Knowledge is power.
Hard English. The more I rose, the more their world unraveled. Vanessa, ever insecure, clutched Daniel tighter, yet suspicion gnawed at her, for she could not purchase trust. At a gala weeks later, their quarrel spilled into the open, her accusing tone slicing the air, his defensiveness dripping with guilt. I stood nearby, calm as still water, while whispers coiled through the crowd. Perhaps he will return to her. My heart did not leap with hope, but steadied with resolve. I remembered, give a man enough rope, and he will hang himself.
Simple English. As I grew stronger, their life grew weaker. Vanessa started to doubt Daniel more and more. She held him close, but she could not buy his honesty. At a big party, they fought in front of everyone. She shouted, and he tried to defend himself. People around started whispering, looking at me. Some said, maybe Daniel will return to her. But I was calm. I did not hope for him. I wanted my own strength. I thought of the saying, if you give a man enough rope, he will hang himself.
Hard English. Eventually, Daniel came to me, not as a conqueror, but as a beggar cloaked in regret. His eyes, once alight with ambition, were clouded with disillusion. I made a mistake, he murmured, hands trembling. Yet I stood unmoved, for the scars he left had become my armor. You taught me that love cannot be pawned for gold, I replied, my voice steady. The idiom rang in my mind. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I had no intention of repeating history.
Simple English. At last, Daniel came back. He was not proud now. He looked broken. His eyes, once full of greed, now looked tired and sad. He said, I made a mistake. His hands shook as he spoke, but I stayed strong. The pain he gave me had made me stronger. I said, you showed me that love cannot be traded for gold. My voice was calm. I remembered the saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I would not let it happen again.
Hard English. In the end, my revenge was not fire but light. I did not ruin him. He ruined himself by choosing shadows over substance. I walked forward, head unbowed, reclaiming my dignity piece by piece until it became a crown no thief could steal. People whispered of my strength, and I smiled, for my story had become proof of the proverb, living well is the best revenge. Daniel remained a prisoner of his choices, while I soared free. And thus, what was once broken was rebuilt into triumph.
Simple English. In the end, my revenge was not anger, but strength. I did not destroy Daniel. He destroyed himself with his own choices. I moved forward with my head high. I rebuilt my life step by step until I felt like a queen again. People talked about my strength, and I smiled. My story became the truth of the old saying, living well is the best revenge. Daniel stayed trapped in his mistakes, but I was free. My broken life was now a story of victory.